Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another video, and also welcome to the Northumberland coastline, where apparently the weather at the moment is pretty terrible, I have to say. This is what was forecast for this evening, but I decided to come out anyway. I've left it till around about, what time is it? Let's be more precise than that. It's currently 4:30. Sunset is in about 2 hours. I left it till this end of the day because even when you've got terrible overcast conditions like this, you very often do get a little bit of warmth in the atmosphere and the light towards the end of the day, regardless of what the clouds are doing above. I'm sticking my neck out by saying that. It probably isn't going to happen, but I've just come to explore this patch of beach just behind me, and well, both directions really, whatever I can find. What I will say is just over that headland is Dunstable Castle. I haven't come out specifically to photograph that because, let's face it, it's not really landscape photography weather. However, I did think that when we get to the blue hour, if I'm over in that direction, I did spot a little composition today that was a little bit different to the norm. And if we do get some nice blue light, I may well just head there towards the end of the session. But for now, I'm going to explore, just like I said, this little patch just here. Right, so I think I found myself my first composition, and it's, you can just see the camera here just set up. Where are we here? Now, one of the things that this area is really well noted for, aside from Dunstable Castle, is these rocks. Often the pictures you see of the castle, these rocks create the foreground leading up to the castle. When you get out towards the edge of the tidal range, they get very, very wet and shiny, and they look really beautiful, especially at dusk and dawn when the warm light's glancing off them. Now, I did think, because we got this flat light, that an opportunity might present itself with this lovely cool light that we've got in terms of making them more blue looking. And I just want to show you on the back of the camera now. So you can see there, that's the composition that I've chosen, and you can see that really blue inky blackness. Now, the white balance is currently set to cloudy, so it's not exaggerated. What's happening is that the auto white balance of the video camera isn't really doing the rocks justice they deserve. They're a lot more inky black in reality, and the camera's sort of taking that out. To be fair, I would rather the Pocket 3 be on auto white balance. It just saves a lot of hassle when you're videoing. But this is what my camera is seeing, and I really like that as a nice starter composition. But just look at the light glancing off the tops of these rocks. I may well look for another one before I give up on this little area, because I think there's other opportunities to be had here. But it's always nice to get one in the bag, a nice starter image, and I think this is it. So in terms of settings, I'm on f19. I am going to do a focus stack of 2. I'm going to do, my first shot is going to be of this rock here in the foreground, and then I'm going to take one of the middle one, which should make the rear rocks nice and sharp as well. So here is my first shot, 1 second at f19. And as you can see, the exposure is right over to the left-hand side to really exaggerate that inky blackness. Now let's just move that up to the middle rock, focus that in, and we'll take that one. And as a starter for the video, I shall put that on now. So now that I've got that shot in the bag, what I'm looking for now is to improve upon it some way. And I've spent about 10 minutes so far looking for opportunities, and I've not come up with anything just yet, but I thought I'd just switch you on and just explain what it is that I'm looking for and why. So as you can see, boulder field galore. There are rocks everywhere, but I'm looking for a rock that stands head and shoulders above the rest. And there has to be that rock somewhere. I can't believe that in amongst all this, there isn't a lovely composition to be had to improve upon the one that I've already got. Oh, I'm slipping around. These rocks are like ice, make no mistake about it. Look at that one there. Can you see the fracturing in that? That's the sort of thing that I'm looking for, a standout rock that really makes a nice main feature within a composition. But the problem I've got is you can see there's these lighter rocks, smaller boulders, bits of debris and sand that I'm trying to avoid, including, just get off these rocks here, absolutely lethal. And there's another one there, look at that one. Just here, almost looks like a dinosaur egg about to crack open. But again, you can see just down on the right hand side, there's a light rock there, and also to the left, there's another one. That would make a lovely composition. And the only way I can get round it is by lowering the camera down and taking it from there. But I don't really want to focus stack if I don't have to. And I'd rather find the right rock in the right situation where I can come at it from above like that. So that's, so dangerous. So that's what I'm looking for. And when you consider that I've got that lot to go at, it's hard to believe that I'm not going to be able to find what I'm after somewhere in amongst this. So I'm going to give myself 20 minutes and then I'm going to get moving just over the headland and see what I can find over there. But fingers crossed, I can find a second composition. So I finally found my shot. Now I've been pretty much as far as the eye can see in that direction, and obviously I've been as far as the eye can see in that direction as well. And all the time, as they say in pantomime, it's behind you. And literally, the shots that I was talking about, the dinosaur egg, which is just here, I was up here trying to make it work because I couldn't find anything, and literally spotted a neat little composition just here. And I'll put you on the back of the camera now and let you have a look at what I've got. So here is my composition, and what a lovely, neat composition it is too. And just look at that inky blueness of the rocks, really picking up nicely on the back of the camera. So we've got a group of three. Groups of threes are always strong in photography. Obviously the big one here on the right hand side, the main component, you've got a nice big deep cleft in it here, which is really interesting, brings a lot to the composition. And then you've got the little one and the intermediate one on the left hand side at the top there. And then we've got this line that runs through just left of centre. What I will say is there is just a little bit of lightness down in that cleft there, a lighter rock, which I will just tone down in post-processing. But each one of these rocks are so beautiful in their own right. They've each got these lovely cracks and features in them that really bring a lot to the image. In terms of aperture, I'm on f/19, 100 ISO and 2.5 seconds. Now I am, just to play it safe, along with a straight shot, I am going to focus stack this, and I'm going to focus stack it with this one here on the left and just another one at the top here, just to make sure that I've got everything in. So that is a lovely shot. I'm more than happy with that, so I'll put that on now. I'm just watching the birds just over here. You can't see them. We've got oyster catcher, we've got sanderlins, we've got turnstone and redshank, all just bobbing around just over there, just feeding as the tides are going out. So anyway, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to head over to the headland as I plan to do. But whilst I risk life and limb getting over these rocks, I'm going to pass you over to a couple of little segments that I took earlier in the week. They weren't intended to be part of the video. They were just really good opportunities, pictures that I took that I just happened to take little video segments with my phone. So I'll put them on now and I'll see you on the other side of the headland. So this is a little dog walking path. Our camper van is right there. And I just, when we arrived yesterday, I walked Willow along here and noticed that there's a good selection of trees. You've got beech just here, here again. You've got horse chestnut here. A bit further along, there's mountain ash, and there's also aspen. And that makes for some cracking floor compositions. You can see the little aspen leaves just here, the yellow one there. You've got the horse chestnut, of course, and the beech just hasn't really started dropping yet, but you can see that there's lots and lots of colour on the ground. So I've set my camera up on a composition just here. So my 120mm macro lens, and you can see that I've managed to find these two horse chestnut leaves together on the floor, surrounded by other leaves. There is a little bit of grass here and there on the composition, but they make for a lovely shot. There was a little bit of grass just poking through here, and I've just covered it up with a couple of aspen leaves there, but on the whole it's a really nice composition. You've got another bit of a horse chestnut coming in just here, and of course the camera's just set directly over. I'll just show you the composition. Looks really beautiful, looks very, very different. So I've got the camera set on auto white balance, and you can see with the histogram that I've got it right over to the left hand side to really inject that mood and atmosphere at f19. That's what the correct exposure should be, but you see there's a little bit of a hot spot just here, so I've created my exposure based on that. So it's like 2/3 of a stop under. I've done a focus stack because if you look down here, if I put that there, you can see that this leaf here is quite high by comparison to the middle of the rosette down there. So it's a stack of about 5 images, but I think that looks really lovely. f19, half a second, 100 ISO. So a little unexpected bonus shot from the campsite. Who'd have thought it, eh? So I'll put that image on now. One of the places that we visited during this trip was a little coastal town called Alnmouth on the Northumberland coast. The beach here at low tide had remnant coal deposits in the sand, indicating the area's industrial past. One of the things that were abundant and we often see pictures of are these little rivulets in the sand that look a bit like small trees, but it wasn't these that grabbed my attention on this occasion. It was the way the coal deposits had formed within these platelet type shapes, and in one place a little leaf had also arrested. I didn't video at this location as there was far too many people around for my comfort, but here is the image that I took. So I hope you enjoyed those images from earlier on in the week, but I've now arrived at my final location for the evening. It's blowing an absolute gale and I've even forgotten my hat, but it's not too bad. So I'm just going to spin you around. Well, forgive me if I sound like I'm shouting, but I feel like I'm shouting over the wind. So clearly we've got Dunstable Castle, and then off to the left we got all the boulders where photographers tend to head to take a shot of the castle, myself included. I've been down there myself probably about 15 years ago. But this afternoon I came to this slab of rock here and I found a little composition just down at the bottom there, and it's that I'm going to give a go this evening. Now if I just point that up, you can see that there is some detail in the sky, and we're just approaching the blue hour. So I think, pick my tripod up, I think we could be on to something, albeit not the glorious golden light of dusk, sunset, but something maybe a little bit different and a little bit more moody, let's say. So I'll get down there now and I'll see you in just a second. So it's actually a little bit, and I mean just a little bit calmer down here. I'm now on the slab of rock, And my composition is of this cleft just here. I don't know whether you can see, there's a boulder just stuck in the cleft just there, and that's what I'm going to use to form the basis of my composition. And it's my thinking that I can use that to frame up something with the castle in the background. What do you think? That boulder is certainly attractive, and I think that's just a little bit different. So I'm going to put my widest lens on. I don't think it's going to be wide enough, so I might have to try something I'm not really used to here, which is doing a stitch of several images to create the overall view that I need. I've never tried that before, but I think this has got some potential, and it's just that little bit different than the norm with all the boulders in the foreground, so let's go for it. So as luck would have it, I can actually get my shot all in one take, which is really good. I was sort of hoping that that might be the case. In terms of setup, I've got my widest lens on, but didn't need it to be as wide as I thought it would. This is 28-45, and I'm currently on 32. I think in full frame terms that's about 28mm, something like that. I've got my case neutral density grad on the top, just creating a little bit of mood in the sky. Just pull that down to the skyline, and crucially I've got my boulder just on the bottom third line. I'm going to show you the composition in just a second, but we've got a lovely diagonal running through the frame as well. We are at the time now when I want to be shooting, so I'm just going to take a quick one. Actually, just need to just level that up and just grab one while I can, just with some slight variations, just some movements with the camera, and then I'll talk you through the composition. Making sure that graduated line is not too far down and too obvious. Now, I have to say that a lot of people like to do this in post-processing, but the problem I've got here is that the dynamic range between the sky and the rocks is really a lot, and I want to try and at least balance some of it as much as I can whilst here on location. My settings for the shot, incidentally, is 2.5 seconds at f/18 at 100 ISO. I'll just talk you through the composition now. So there's my composition. You can see that lovely diagonal crack in the rocks there, and this beautiful boulder in the bottom left-hand third, and of course you've got the castle just nicely placed on that top third there. Now, in terms of that graduated filter, if I just pull it up, you can see, sorry, just adjust that composition. If I just pull it down, you can see the effect that that's just having in balancing that sky off nicely. Now, I have got, at the moment, I've got the exposure dialed up just so you can see the composition better, but in reality I'm going to take it down to about there, just under correct exposure, just to create a little bit more mood again. Actually, that's not too bad at its correct exposure, to be honest. But one of the things I do like about this is the addition of this nice little bit of green that runs through to the top of the pool there, and the reflected light in the pool. Now, that green is somewhat echoed by the green on the hill on which the castle stands. But that's a really lovely shot. Very, very happy with that indeed. You've got an area of, you could argue, some negative space here, but I don't feel it's too flat and uninteresting. You have got some nice lines, striations in the rock as well, and of course you've got this nice bit of a crack running through this rock too. But I think that's a really nice, clean composition. Like I say, in terms of aperture, f/18 at the moment, 100 ISO, and now it's actually 4 seconds exposure, so let's get that one in the bag. So I'm losing the light really quickly now, so I'll put that image on in just a second. But what I will say is, if you've enjoyed the close-ups that you've seen today, do head over to my website and check out my new ebook, The Intimate Landscape. It's full of images like you've seen today on the video, lots of inspirational, beautiful full page alternating images throughout the book, and over 10,000 words of valuable insights, all about how I go about finding and executing the perfect intimate landscape. So go and check that out now on my website, www.simonboothphotography.com, and get your copy today. So I'm going to put all the images on now, including the ones that I took earlier on in the week. But as always, don't forget to subscribe, leave some comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.